the impossible can be done. Mission Impossible, the movie, it's real. I've seen men and women who actually have done Mission Impossible, and they're called Canadians, and they did a really great job back in 2006. MEDUSA was a political challenge to the legitimacy of the international community coming in to help out a Muslim nation. And the Taliban at the time thought that they could challenge that legitimacy through defeating the international community. Now, had we lost, it would have changed not just those governments, it would have changed the role of NATO, it would have changed how the international community would have done anything. We were the #1 priority for the US in the world at that stage in the game, this battle. And in a coalition of 9 nations, we had a lot of nations that put so many constraints on that would not allow their soldiers to fight. And Canada found itself in essentially was our version of Srebrenica, where in fact other nations would not come to our assistance and it was going to be up to Canada to fight this. And Canada alone couldn't have done it. So we had nations that came in officially, we had nations that came in unofficially, and we had nations that didn't want to come in at all. So coalition operations is the hardest way of doing something. It's easiest if you're just one nation alone. So much so that we actually created scenarios and we would war game how nations would handle different scenarios, and we created smart books. So we would find out what nations could or could not do because of national caveats. We had lawyers, I had 5 lawyers working for me that would make sure that everything that we did was, legal. And each nation brought their own rules and regulations. It is complex because if you make a mistake, someone dies. If you make a mistake, someone dies and you could go to jail. And I was having to deal with all of it. Fighting the Taliban was the easy part of my day. Working with the coalition was the hard part and consumed most of my day. The more that you have a relationship with somebody, when you're in a crisis, the strength of that relationship will get you through the crisis. And our relationship with those 9 nations at that time of crisis got us through and got us to where we are today. The fact that we're not studying this as a failure, the fact that you don't even know about this, is a success story. For Canada, I took over a fighter pilot with me. He was actually the only one that US would allow to certify anyone to talk and bring in air missions. That's the first thing. The second thing is we had big Chinooks that were flying logistics everywhere. So I brought one of them up forward into theater. The Americans would only ask for the Canadians to drop their supplies. They were just outstanding pilots and they did a great job, and it gave Canada a strategic voice. The RCAF are doing what they've always done.